Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. Welcome to episode 10 of Water Media Wednesday. Today I'm creating in my 6x6 homemade watercolor journal. And these are some of the supplies that I'll be using, some Dylusions paints, as well as a variety of background papers. I really have a hard time creating without doing collaging. It's just one of the happy things that I love to do. So, yeah, I'm going to do it. And here's just a quick flip through of the journal up to this point. I hope that you'll go back and check out some of the other episodes. They've been super fun. What I'm doing is experimenting with a variety of water media items. So, watercolor, sprays, I'll be getting into gouache here probably soon, watercolor crayons and things like that. So I am giving a coat of gesso to both of these pages. And I decided because the 6x6 was fairly small and I felt like doing a little bit more today, I went ahead and prepped them both of the pages for this project. And this is some paper that I got off of an Etsy store. It was an Etsy digital. And I just love the variety that she offers. So I'll be sure to put that in the video description, or not the video description, the supply list on my blog, excuse me. But I'll put the link in the description field. And so I'm just collaging all of my papers with my Liquitex matte medium. And I did want to draw in some of that paper over to the left-hand side. It helps to create some balance. Whether you're working on a double spread or you're working on a single page, spreading your elements out really is complementary to the whole project. So that's what I'm doing there. And I am using a variety of just scraps from my bucket. Some of these are from Sean Petit's collage packs that they're just my scraps. So I thought 6x6 journal is a nice size to use scraps for. So that's what I'm going to do here. I love the little ticketing pieces. They're super fun. They create a really fun element. And then this is some vintage book pages from my stash, one of my favorite books to use. Because Jenny is the name on every page, and that name is very important to me. So I really, even though it's not spelled the way that her name is spelled, I still really like it. And so again, the rhyme and reason behind the way that I collage is just to break up the elements so that they're represented in various places across the page. I don't do that with every single piece, such as that ticketing. I only had the one ticketing because it was from my scraps, but the other elements I do try to break up and spread around the page, or the pages in this case. I really liked how this one turned out. I was a little bit unsure about using the Dylusions paints. I haven't used them in a while, and I did find that there were a couple of the colors that I picked that were fairly dried out, which was disappointing. But I'm just going to use them up. It's not a product that I would probably purchase again. Working with water-based or water-reactive paints are acrylic kinds of paints are really not my favorite thing. And I have other products that I prefer more. So, but I'll be using these up just so that I'm not wasteful. And using those kinds of things up in your journal is a great way to be responsible with the supplies and use them up in a way that is fun. So, and then I just brought in a little bit of scraps of Tim Holtz tissue wrap. And just putting that here and there around the pages. I'm used to only working in one page. So I am using the Distress Crackle paint from Ranger. And in this case, I really wasn't, I did get Crackle, but I really love the kind of the icing look that this product gives to a page and how the paints react to it on the surface. And so I wasn't really necessarily using this for the crackle effect as much as just getting some kind of that bumpy texture and that kind of crystallized texture on the pages. So I didn't really wait for it to start to crackle, although I did notice in the close-ups that I did get quite a bit of crackle in the end, which I didn't pursue, but it ended up happening anyway, which was a nice surprise. And you always want to be careful, especially in these disc-bound journals, that you don't clog up those the holes there. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to get your pages back in the journal. But so I just went, but I wanted a little bit there, so it's not just plain. And there you can just see that kind of that shine. And then I do dry that before I move on to the next step. And I got my baby wipes out because initially I was going to use the baby wipe technique with the Dylusions paints. But because this orange was fairly dried up, I mean, I did it, but it softened it so much that it was just way too light. But this is one of my favorite parts of art journaling, is just kind of playing and experimenting and just playing with colors. I put this orange down and then I came right in with the yellow. I did not dry in between because they're color friends, and so they won't make a muddy mess. So I just went ahead and brought the yellow in right away after I dried. I'm not sure why this didn't get cut out, but I guess I did dry. Sorry about that. And then this yellow, I'm out of my sunny yellow with this line of paint. And so this is a lemon zest, which is not my favorite. I don't tend towards the lemon. I like the really sunny yellow. But in this project, when you look at the close-up photos at the end, it was really, really pleasing. And it added a great element to the whole project. And the little bird envelope, the envelope with the little bird nest there, I did end up coming in with some pink paint and making that not be so bold. This is the paint that I was really disappointed about, that it was completely rubberized and dried out, which, I mean, not really dried out, but it was all clumped up together. And I don't know if there's a way to reconstitute it. I'll probably do a Google search on that and see if I can find a YouTube video or something to help me be able to utilize this paint and not have to throw it in the trash can. Because it's one of my favorite colors. It's actually called Dirty Martini, which I think the names are pretty hilarious. But I did think briefly about going ahead and investing in her new line of paints that are in a bottle that sit upside down, which having a cap on them would be really nice, but not an investment that I'm willing to make at this time, but something that's in the back of my mind, especially since these paints are going bad. I might actually just expose the grandkids to these paints because they're fun to work with, and the kids would have a blast with them. But unfortunately, we can't see them. So yeah, that's a bummer. And so there's a close-up of just those colors so far. So that's the orange, the lemon zest, and the Dirty Martini. And I just love how it blended out. I do kind of come back and forth, as you can see there, bringing in a little bit more of the orange. The bird in that paper was pretty orange, which is kind of was the motivation and the thought process behind bringing in this orange. It's actually called squeezed orange. It would not be a go-to color for me. But these pages are actually about spring, and so I wanted it to be really bright and sunny, and definitely was able to achieve that. And then just bringing in some more of that lemon zest. This project ended up being called Blissful New Possibilities, but my heart behind it was that here we are in spring. This is not the spring that I expected. Obviously we all want to be working. It's difficult to be at home all the time. So it's very different anyway, but it's okay. We work with what we have. And as I've mentioned before, just trying to find blessings in the midst of it. One of the blessings is that, I don't have transition time, going to and from work and things like that. And so I can just naturally ebb and flow from working online and doing my trainings and things to creating, which is really fun. So I'm very grateful for that. So I'm just coming in with this, the Crafters Workshop. This is Mini Swirls stencil, which I really liked. I loved how these paints do layer up really, really nicely. So I liked that element. I thought it was a really good addition. I definitely wanted to bring that pink in. So there is the me using that pink just to kind of push that little element back. I'm not sure why I had left it so bold there, but everything is fixable as you move through the process. And so here I'm going to use Sean Petit's Spring. I believe this is her Spring Sayings. I'll have to get the official name. It's a new stencil to me. So, and doing the Blissful, and I forgot the L there, so I had to carefully put that back in place and get my L stenciled on there. And then I'll come over to the right side and do New Possibilities. Spring has become my favorite time of the year, just because I love the signs of new life that are peeking up and poking through after the winter and the rain and all of that kind of thing. But the spring is also has historically been a difficult time for me. So anytime I can focus on the positives of a season, I try to do that because, oftentimes we need to reframe our thinking around certain things that, we are going to be faced with over and over and over in our world. And so taking back this season is really important to me. And so this page was really fun because I believe that this attitude of blissful new possibilities is a choice that I need to make every day, to think differently about the season, to think differently about the current circumstances that we are all in, or most of us, the vast population that is not actually able to go to work. And so, yeah, it's super fun. So I came in with this dot stencil and I don't even know who's the maker. I'll have to look that up and I'll be sure to put that in the supplies list. But I thought that was just fun. Those circles were made, just helped the pages be really lighthearted and fun, which is what I was kind of after. And then I did come in with that butterfly and I adhered that with my Liquitex matte medium. And then I wanted some arrows, and this was the only arrow stencil that I had. And so I went ahead and used it, and again with my black archival ink and my makeup brush. And I'm going to go all the way across that line on the left-hand page. And then when I apply it to the right page, I'm going a little bit lower on the page and not all the way over to the other side. And I really loved the pop of color that it gave. Or interest rather. The black is very complementary to a piece. So I'm coming in with my General's charcoal pencil to shade around my butterfly. And then I'll also be using the charcoal pencil around the edges of my 2 pages. And then I also come in with some white acrylic ink, kind of breaking the rules of Water Media Wednesday by using an acrylic product, but I just like it. And, it's mixed media for a purpose. And so even though my main goal is to do water media, I just had to come in with the white sprinkles or the white splatters, excuse me. And so I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're able to, again, find great ways to spend your time, making memories, doing more reflective things. I know that I'm doing that. And it's been definitely a mixed blessing. And I believe that perspective has everything to do with that. And so I'm trying to keep my head up and be positive. So I hope that you'll check out the other 9 episodes of Water Media Wednesday. It's super fun. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will. It helps my visibility on YouTube. And so I'd be super grateful if you did. And there's just some close-ups. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.